Happy Oscar Sunday, everybody. How are you? I'm wonderful, thank you for asking. Might as well get straight to the point. Here's my ballot box for Oscar Sunday 2026. Honestly, let me get this out the way. I think K-Pop Demon Hunters is the clear winner for Best Animated Picture. I do think it had like the viral moment. It's going to be something that lives on for forever. Like, that's going, the music, the movie, it's going to be a whole franchise now. Like, that's where we're at. My second pick, however, my backup pick is Zootopia 2. I only watched Zootopia 2 recently when it was on Disney+, and I loved it. Zootopia 2's only crime is that it's just a great movie. While K-Pop Demon Hunters is a great movie with great music, it was just commanded the culture for a pretty good time this year. So yeah, I'm going to have to go with K-Pop Demon Hunters. Zootopia is my backup. Adapted screenplay. I think the Oscars tonight is going to be a battle between One Battle After Another and Sinners. So I do believe that One Battle After Another is going to win Best Adapted Screenplay. Now, if we go over to Best Original Screenplay, I think that's where Sinners will come in. Now, with Adapted Screenplay, I do believe Frankenstein is worthy of the award. I loved Frankenstein. I'm going to be saying that a lot in this video, but I do believe Frankenstein is very much worthy of stealing that award if it's not One Battle After Another. For Best Original Screenplay, I'm definitely gonna have to go with Sinners. I think Sinners is going to sweep a lot tonight. I mean, it's going up against not the craziest competition, so I definitely think it has this one in the bag. Best documentary feature is definitely The Alabama Solution. I've watched it. It was heartbreaking, but it was so well made that I don't see how it could lose. But I also can't say that I've seen every single one of these documentaries on this list. I don't know which order I want to go in. You know what, let's get Best Actress out of the way. I have Rose Byrne as a favorite for some reason. I also have Jessie Buckley. I think Jessie Buckley actually might win because, you know, Shakespeare and all. I think you can't go wrong with Shakespeare. I don't really have a dog in this fight in Best Actress category. Emma Stone, I think, was good in Begonia. And I don't think that's like once you win a certain amount, you should never win again. But I just think that it's going to be somebody else's year. I love Emma Stone, so I'm not even upset if she actually does end up winning tonight. I just don't think it's her year this year. I think she just ended up making a really good movie. Okay, because I tried to make this a whole separate video. But for Best Actor, it's going to be Michael B. Jordan, or Leonardo DiCaprio, or maybe Ethan Hawke. Timothée Chalamet was never in the running. He was never in the running. The internet had him in the running. I think the internet forgets that us casual everyday viewers, us tweeters and deleters and all that shit, I think we sometimes talk ourselves into thinking that we have a voice in what wins Oscars, and we actually don't. And Timothée Chalamet's whole career for like the past like few years has been Oscar hype, Oscar hype, Oscar hype, Oscar hype, Oscar hype. Every movie he does is to win an Oscar. And I think that the Academy hates that, and I hate it, because I feel like it dilutes your performance into only trying to, I don't know, I think it just dilutes the kind of movies that you make. And that being said, I think Timothée Chalamet is a fantastic actor. I think he's going to win an Oscar one day, easily. You know, but when you turn every press tour for your movie into like this Oscar hype buzz, it kind of, I don't know, man, it just dilutes what you do. Because now I'm no longer focusing on, you know, you making Marty Supreme because you want to make a good movie. You're making it because you want Oscar glory. And he has that really great moment when he won his SAG award and he said he wants to be the best. And here's the thing. Timothée Chalamet is a kid from New York. He's a sports head. He is an athlete who went into acting, okay? So he treats everything like, you know, he's about to lace up to play for the Knicks or something. And I think on one hand, that is a very healthy mindset as a creator. But also, you know, art is not as definitive as sports. You know, only one team can win the championship at the end of the season. It's usually going to be the best team. That's not the case for the arts. The arts is far more subjective. Success is very vaguely defined, and I just don't think that him chasing Oscar glory is going to bring him glory. We saw it happen with Leonardo DiCaprio. We made jokes about it as a whole meme. Leonardo DiCaprio had to sleep in a dead bison to win his Oscar. I think Timothée Chalamet is going to be on that path. And that's fine, because it'll mean he'll give us more good movies. But I just didn't like him as Marty Supreme. He's not a likable person. And being likable doesn't necessarily mean, is not necessarily a factor for you winning an Oscar. But I don't know. Watching a movie about a guy who wants to be so good at ping pong that he's just a dick to everybody does not feel like an Oscar-worthy performance. It was a good performance. It was a fun performance. It's gonna be up there with like the Leonardo DiCaprio in Wolf of Wall Street, those kinds of movies. But he's just a dick. He is a new Leonardo DiCaprio. I think the internet will always have his side in that regard. But I just don't think he's worthy of the Oscar this year. And I think the internet and how they talk about him and how they praise him, I think that played into it a lot. I think the internet loves him too much for him to win an Oscar now. I mean, yeah. Does that make sense? Tell me in the comments if that makes sense. Anyways, Michael B. Jordan all the way, or Leonardo DiCaprio. Leonardo DiCaprio was hilarious. I think Leonardo DiCaprio is really at his best when he acts like a little bitch, and he does that for a lot of this movie. He also does just great. Now, Michael B. Jordan. Michael B. Jordan is the most obvious candidate for Best Actor ever. Like, honestly, ever. He played two people in such a convincing way that I watch that movie now and I'm convinced that he is a twin, like in real life. And anybody who tries to downplay playing a twin doesn't know shit about acting. They don't know shit about performance. They don't know shit about movie making. None of that. Like, that's not an easy thing to do. And I know we see a lot of actors doing it nowadays. Like the past 2 years, there was a weird amount of movies that were actors playing twins or two different characters, but Michael B. Jordan did it the best. And it will probably be the standard for any other performer going forward who wants to do it again. And here's another thing about Michael B. Jordan versus Timothée Chalamet. Michael B. Jordan makes any kind of movie. He was in The Wire, he was in The Sopranos, he's done rom-coms, he's done good superhero movies, he's done bad superhero movies. He's rebooted franchises, he's directed. Michael B. Jordan is a pure definition of somebody who does art for the sake of doing art. I think Best International Feature is gonna go to The Secret Agent. When an international movie usually gets nominated for, the regular Oscar and the international Oscar, I feel like it's usually a shoo-in to win the international Oscar. Just like Parasite a few years ago. Parasite was just swept everything. What's next? Animated. Now, I do think that Golden from K-Pop Demon Hunters is going to win for Best Original Song, while I do personally want I Lied to You to win. And I also don't know if this is a year where they stopped performers from singing the songs for the Oscars this year. It was either last year or this year, but I hope I get to see both of them perform tonight. Costume design, I love Ruth Carter. I'm always going to root for Ruth Carter and Sinners, but I also do think Frankenstein was up there. I really did enjoy Frankenstein's costuming and just whole production design. Speaking of production design, I have Sinners as my main winner with, surprise, surprise, Frankenstein as my surprise winner. I think Frankenstein deserves some kind of Oscar tonight. Some kind. Visual effects, I honestly think we're going to go, I think F1 is going to win. And if it does, and this is really it's one of its few actual awards that has a chance of winning tonight. I do think F1 is just a fantastic movie and it looks great. And while it's also has a lot of real racing, it has also a lot of really good CGI that people think is real when it's not. Avatar, I think Avatar actually does have the best special effects, but I do believe that there is a sense of people aren't wowed by it anymore as much as they used to be. It's Weta. I believe it's Weta who does the effects for Avatar, and Weta's won so many times. Weta's already known as one of the best special effects houses in the business, and I think it's also to the point where I don't think the Academy feels the need to award them anymore, which is weird. I do think the Academy does stuff like that But yeah, no, I do believe that F1 is going to sweep a lot of the technical awards tonight, visual effects, sound design. I think it's very deserving. For sound, though, I also did say Frankenstein. I just really like Frankenstein, dog. That was a good movie. Now, we're getting into the real meat of the awards tonight. For cinematography, this one was actually kind of hard because I have One Battle After Another winning for cinematography, while I have Sinners as my second pick, but also as my third pick, Train Dreams. I saw Train Dreams. I wasn't really like blown away by it. I liked it, but I think the best thing about that movie is that it's shot very well. So I can't even like hit on it too much. I don't want to call it boring, but it does feel kind of boring. But that being said, I do have Train Dreams as a surprise winner for Best Cinematography because it is a beautiful movie. Editing. This is actually my favorite award every year. Favorite award. It's either going to be One Battle After Another or F1. I think both of those movies are edited very well. I don't really have Sinners up here. I think Sinners is gonna win some other awards tonight. I think F1 and One Battle After Another have such a very cool style that stands out from all the other movies that I think one of them is gonna be the clear runaway winner. Okay, so Best Supporting Actress. Wumi Masaku for Sinners. I think she was just great in that movie. I think she has a very memorable performance, but I also do think Amy Madigan will probably be a surprise winner. I think she was also very scary in a way that is memorable, and I don't know, I think the Oscars likes villains a lot, so I think they might slide her that one. But I mean, she's very deserving, so I don't want it to be bad. I don't think Teyana Taylor was in One Battle After Another enough to really warrant an Oscar win. On nomination, sure, but I don't know. I think there are better performances than Teyana Taylor's like 20 minutes in One Battle After Another. No shade to Teyana, though. I still like her in that movie. All right, it's Best Supporting Actor. Whew, this one's hard. This is a stat category because I chose Sean Penn. I think Sean Penn was a horrifying villain. I put him up there with Darth Vader and Thanos, and Sean Penn portrayed something so well. And it's the most dangerous thing on this planet is a white man trying to prove himself to other white men. And Sean Penn played his ass off. I think he deserves to win. That being said, though, Delroy Lindo, I also believe, is very much worthy of that award. While I do believe that Stephen Lockjaw is a performance that people will remember for a long time, I don't know, Delroy Lindo's Delta Slim, man, I do believe that Sean Penn did one of the best things in a movie ever. And he showed how the scariest thing on earth is a white man trying to prove himself to other white men. And it was just, he was great at it. It was a perfect performance, honestly. Delroy Lindo also gave a great performance. And honestly, I don't even like to compare these guys because I like them both for very different reasons. You know, Delta Slim is an ally while Stephen Lockjaw is a villain. So honestly, I think they both deserve to win for... Also, surprise pick. Jacob Elordi as Frankenstein is my surprise pick for Best Supporting Actor. I think he was fantastic. I really just... This video is going to end up being a secret like ad for Frankenstein on Netflix, dog. That was a great movie. And I think Jacob Elordi deserves at least some kind of recognition. If he doesn't win, nomination is enough. No, now I'm sold on anything else he'll do, except Wuthering Heights. Now let's get into the real juicy stuff. Now, Best Director, I think it's gonna be Paul Thomas Anderson. I think it's gonna be one of those career Oscars that you also get, because I don't think he's won yet already, but One Battle After Another was fantastic. It really was, and I think it's either between him and Ryan Coogler, but both directors built their world with such great roots. Both movies is like the first 20-30 minutes is all set up. You know, for Sinners, the first 20-30 minutes is just them opening up the juke joint. You know, vampires don't come in until like damn near an hour in. You know, One Battle After Another is all setting up how Bob and Perfidia and Willa got set up in their world. And I think when you watch both those movies and you watch the first 30 minutes and you realize how much they're building for their world, you're kind of like, I'm kind of taken aback, because I'll just watch Sinners if it's just about guys setting up a juke joint, no vampires at all. You know, I'll watch Sinners if it's just, Perfidia and Bob just doing revolutionary shit the whole movie before Willa comes into the picture. Those worlds are so built, so well built that they feel real. And both directors wrote their movies, and it just shows, because those movies make me feel the most out of anything, easily. That being said, while I have Paul Thomas Anderson for Best Director, for Best Picture, I have Sinners. So I do think Paul Thomas Anderson is going to win Best Director, while Sinners is going to take Best Picture. I think Sinners had the more powerful moment for the culture. I think One Battle After Another was very well praised and very well loved. But I don't know, man. Maybe it's that Ryan Coogler and Michael B. Jordan effect. You know, it felt like when I went to go see Black Panther for the first time in Atlanta, and I was all dressed up in kufi clothes, and everybody had like dashikis on and shit, you know? That's the same feeling I got from Sinners. And I think Sinners is going to be the Best Picture winner. That being said, I do think One Battle After Another does have a fair shot at winning it as well. And while I'll be happy, I want it more for Sinners. I think Sinners is just, can't do better than that. Yeah. Let's see if I'm right or wrong.